You guys tonight, I mean, the offense just never dies for you.
Yeah, you look at the scoreboard the last 3 innings, to put up 6 runs against those 3 arms. I mean, those are quality arms. Our back was against the wall because their strength is in that bullpen, and it's in those back few guys that have had such a good year for them. So give our kids a lot of credit because it's not easy to score runs against those guys.
You talked a lot last.
Walks tonight kind of did you guys in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Williams and I was frustrated. The leadoff walks did. I mean, I think 3 leadoff walks scored and an error scored, the 1-out error. So 4 of the runs where you're giving them the base. And against good teams, I say it all the time, you can't give good teams an extra out or free base runners. And we did that for the first half of the game, but we really battled and took control of the second half of the game.
What was this like for Hairston, you think?
He grew up in this state. I mean, he's just going to play hard. If you notice, he doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. He's got to be the smallest 4-hole hitter in the country, when you think about it. But he hits there because he's going to move the ball. He's an RBI type of guy. And he's done a great job for us. Sometimes he hits 5th or 6th, but sometimes the way the lineup works out, he hits 4th. So he competes.
Does he have a?
Colin Lemon always seems to be in the middle of these things for you guys.
Well, because he's such a good athlete, he's such a good base runner, that if he doesn't start the game, there's still going to be a good chance he's going to finish the game. And it's now that you say that, it seems like he's crossed the plate many times as the game-winning run.
How hard is that ball there, the chopper? And he didn't get maybe a great jump on it. It was short. How hard is that to score on for him? And he made a pretty good slot.
Yeah, stumbling a little bit there. He hurt his ankle at Florida State. So, he didn't play the last 2 midweek games, and he probably went 3 games in a row where he didn't start. So I was bringing him back slowly through the weekend. And, because when you're a speed guy and that's taken away from you, you become average. And speed guys don't like to be average. That's their tool. And that was taken away from him for a week. So he's not moving at 100%, but, he was going to compete, and he's such a good outfielder and a good defender, and that was a huge walk there.
Yeah, we're talking about Devin's play, but how big was Brendan's before to get going?
Brendan was frustrated because they pitched him well, and as each at-bat went on in the game, he hit the hard ground ball double play, and then he almost hit the jack. I mean, where was the win when we needed it? And but that guy's numbers against lefties are like, I always call them video game numbers. I mean, lefties don't hit that guy. And that's why they made the move. They made all the right moves on the mound. I mean, obviously they know their pitching staff better than me, but that's knowing what I know about that pitching staff, that's what they had to do. And Corey Ray hits the big 2-run homer, and Rosenbaum hits the 2-out, 2-strike ball, and we do just enough.
Does Hairston bring?
Good.
I'm sorry.
Everyone was saying that he didn't want to be known as a defensive specialist when he came back this year. How did he change his approach to the play?
Well, first you got to understand he's been a great hitter his whole life. And sometimes you get labeled that because you're a little guy. So they assume you're a little guy, and you play the most skilled position on the field other than maybe catcher, kind of an athletic position. So it's easy to be looked at as, oh, he's just a defensive wizard. But he's always hit. I mean, he's hit his whole life. He's sitting in the middle of his lineup. I mean, I've seen him bang balls in high school. And sometimes we get too caught up on freshman numbers where, you don't know the speed of the game. You don't know if you're in the lineup every day. We had him playing some second. We had him playing some short. He got a concussion. He was out of the lineup for a few weeks. And it's very easy to hit 200 and, like a lot of freshmen do. But as I keep telling everybody, he was the MVP of the regionals last year because of his offense, just as much as his defense. And he had a good summer, and so we always felt he could hit all along. I'm just glad everybody else gets to see that he's able to hit.